Alright folks, welcome back to another video. So, as we left off last time, we had just got this cable rig tipped back out of our way. And now our next step is, we gotta get the hood off, we gotta get the dash off, and we gotta get the pony motor off before we can go any further. So that's what the video is going to be today. I don't know how much of that I'm going to actually be able to do. Might just be getting the dash off today and run out of time. We'll see how it goes. So stay tuned. Alright, so it is a little windy out, but I have a windsock on the camera this time. And when I say windsock, I mean just that. I took a sock and cut a hole in it and put it over the camera. So I guess we'll see if that makes our wind noise a little better, because that seems to be the whole thing I suffer with. So let's get started. This here is called the Engine Saver 5000. Man, that thing is heavy. It's like they made that hood out of 16 gauge steel. All right, so first things first, we're gonna get that dash off. So we got to get this dash off, and okay, yeah, there's a bolt in it right here, and then it's missing the upper one on this side anyway. We'll have to remove our temp sensor sender line thingy. I also just invented a magnetic camera base for you guys by taking a magnetic cup holder, just setting the camera in it. This is probably going to leak, but that's fine. It's high enough, I'm not too worried about it. So I'll get this sender out. It's going to leak, but that's fine. I have a pan under it. Try to carefully get this out without breaking it. Oh, and it's routed right under that oil line. That's gonna suck. Well, maybe we can lift it up. Be very delicate with these, because if you break it or kink it, it'll ruin it, because it lets the gas out that does the actuating. So kind of just wrap this up in a nice little circle here for now. The fun fact about a bulldozer from 1937 is there's only 2 gauges. So we only got to worry about 2 gauges. Oil pressure, which is broken already anyway, so that don't matter. Engine temp. Looks like that one's kind of broken also. So literally 2 lines is all we got to deal with, and our instrument cluster is disconnected. We'll get this bolt off. This here's the oil pressure sender tube. So now that that's out, and I think we have one more thing on the other side. As far as controls go, we have this throttle linkage for the diesel. So that's attached to our dash, runs up into here. So I'll either pull it off here or I might unpin it there. Not sure which way is going to be easier. Probably both. I'll have to unbolt it and unpin it and then just pull it out this way, I think. Alright, now we got to get this pin out. I think. Hopefully it's not too locked up. Out comes the trusty Leatherman. Yeah, that's stuck. We might just see if we can go on without taking that off. Alright, now we're down to under here. So there's a bolt here and there. That's what holds the firewall up from wobbling. That lower one looks like it may be a bit of a problem to get at because the track is in the way. Yeah, so what was it, last spring? Then this pony motor gave up. And so I sent a spare one I had off to get rebuilt. And now the spare one is done and ready to be picked up. But now we have way bigger problems to worry about. So I was just going to brag about how I like this older stuff, because usually the nut head and the bolt head are the same size. And as soon as I said that, I jinxed myself. And we have a 3/4 on this side, and it's 5/8 on the other. Which is a really common thing that Mentric likes to do to us. Mentric people, they love that. 2 different sizes. Come on, just make it. I think they do it because they're lazy. And they don't want to have 2 of the same size of wrench or something. I don't know. Maybe they can't comprehend that fast. So they make everything 2 different sizes, and it is just annoying. Anyway, thanks for coming to my TED Talk. It's not over yet. Yes. How in the Hades are you supposed to get to that? Well, you're right into the wind, but if that sock's doing its job, it should be good. I think I gotta dig all this crud out of here. So 80 years of dirt and grease buildup, looks like. I gotta be careful not to get too violent. Break my fuel line, because it runs right there. There we go, I can see the bolt now. You know, some days I wish this was a wide gauge tractor, because then I could easily get an impact in here, because the gap between the tracks and the side of the tractor is much larger. But on the flip side of that, when you have a wide gauge tractor, you can't as easily reach anything, because then you have to either stand outside the track or inside the track. There's no just leaning over it like we're doing here. That is not an option for you. And I dropped the nut. My nuts finally dropped. Oh boy. Mommy, wow, I'm a big kid now. Is that what you said the first time you used a pull-up? Alright, over to the other side. Now for this side, the top bolt is missing. So all we have to deal with is that lower one down under here. Last time I drove this thing was in the mud, so I have not properly shoveled the tracks yet. You see this? Identifies as a shovel. Shoveling, 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 shoveling. Good enough. Shoveled. Bye-bye. It liked the dirt too much. It's the way she goes. You're all fine and dandy until the way she goes light turns on. You never want the way she goes light to come on. It's being the word that starts with the C, and you can only say it if you're Australian. So you just have to make sure you say it in an Australian accent. All right? Pawn Stars. Like, please give me an hour battery life. Camera company. Best I can do is 30 minutes. All right, there it is. That is the final dash bolt. The final dash bolt. Do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do. Or however the song goes, I don't know. I don't do music. It's the final dash bolt. Oh yeah. We'll work that thing out of there. We'll make it happen. That line is coming back to haunt us. Haunt us like Pocahontas. Let's see if we can make the whole situation worse. It's my favorite thing to do. I love making situations worse. If you haven't tried it, you should at least try it once in your life. I'm telling you, you'll live to regret it. I love that there's gas still in the pony motor tank. And there we are. All right, folks. We got the dash off. I don't know how much battery do we have left. I know we're running 8% battery. That's why I was getting kind of animated there. The last was about to go dead. But there we are. Dash is off. That will be it for today's video. Camera's dead, so can't go much further than that. I can go further. You guys can't watch. So what's the point of that? Bulldozer dash off. So next time, clunkety blown up pony motor off. And then we'll either do the engine or the top cover of the transmission. I haven't decided which to do first. But the pony motor has to come off before either of them can. So thanks for watching. And if you enjoyed this, be sure to like and subscribe. And stay tuned for the next one. Thanks.